Hello, and welcome back to the Coupe de Villa podcast. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back to talk about Aston Villa's trip to Newcastle to face Newcastle United and look forward to the Watford game. It was a pretty disappointing week. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of what are we going to do with this team. We'll all get into that after this. Okay, so Villa were back in action. We were going up to the northeast to face Newcastle United, who are on a bit of form with all their new, oil money and their new players. Matty Target wasn't there, but they did have a lot of new signings. It was always going to be a tough game, but it turned out to be a lot tougher than we expected, Noah. Definitely the worst performance under Stevie G.
I think it's the worst performance I've seen for Villa since we got promoted. I'd say one of the worst ones anyway. We were horrific. It's not too hard for Newcastle to be that team when Villa don't turn up. Only really one team out there for I would think 85 minutes. I think Villa play well for 5 minutes after the goal got disallowed. But besides that, they're all over us and deserved winners. Well, one shot on target from a free kick. Yeah, we were very, very bad.
That's it, Tommy. We had Chambers in for Konsa. That was the only change to the team. I think he did okay in his debut, but for the rest of it, the senior players, the likes of McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Cash, Ollie Watkins, all very poor, and it looks like Stevie Gerrard's going to bring some changes for Watford.
Agreed. I think change is definitely needed. Chambers, yeah, I mean, it's okay. To be honest, I think I'd be opting for Horse next game. And, I mean, I don't think Chambers should escape any blame for the silly foul that actually led to the goal deflection or not. Also, either a pen or a free kick in a very dangerous spot. And given Trippier scored the previous week off a free, I definitely would have been worried even committing a foul, knowing how potent they can be off free kicks. Watkins, very poor up front. I don't think it's the first game. I don't think it's the last. I think his form's dipped completely this year. I think Ings' arrival probably startled him a little bit. He was kind of the lone wolf and thrive last year. Yeah, he had a bit of a bad patch, but he picked it up because we were constantly playing through him. And yeah, I don't understand. I feel like with the Coutinho's addition and Buendia's starting to buzz a bit, and even Ramsey's killing it, and you think he'd be doing better, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe just his game style isn't accustomed to them three behind him. So I think change is needed. I think Ings is knows how to play the offside trap pretty well, and he's definitely more lethal in front of goal out of the two. So I think we might have to opt with Ings up front. And I mean, a lot of us called it, but it wasn't made. Prior to the weekend's game against Newcastle.
That's it. I've heard a lot of other sort of podcasters and pundits saying that the Villa fans are being a bit harsh on Ollie Watkins. That
are we though?
He does a lot of work off the ball and all this sort of stuff. That I've heard the goals against Leeds. The running that he does opens up the space for Jacob Ramsey to score those goals and that sort of thing. And I think that's true to a point.
It is true, yeah.
But still, his body language
at the expense of what though? Missing in front of goals, because I back Ings out of Watkins at the end of the day. He's got a much better goal record, and he's actually a proven scorer in the Prem. We paid 30 million, kind of like Darren Bent. We brought him in to score goals, and we're not even starting the poor guy. I almost feel bad for Ings, to be honest. So yes, Ollie does a lot more out front. No question about it that Ollie's work rate is 10 times as good as Ings's. Ings does put in a shift. I'm not going to lie. His legs aren't as, he doesn't run as fast, but he definitely tracked back. I remember watching earlier in the season where Ings is basically tracking back to left back. So,
yeah,
let's not count out his work rate. But he's an out scorer, and that's what we need to play to his strengths. We've got Coutinho who can, find a pass from anywhere on the pitch. Buendia is starting to find form. Ramsey's a superstar. So, yeah, I think we need to mix it up. I think we need to go with Ings. And just like we did start of the season, what about if we don't have Ollie? What if Ollie gets injured? We're so over-reliant on one. There's definitely competition for places, and it should be based purely on form, not on work rate. If you're not scoring, if you're a centre back and Mings, good example, 2 bad games in 3, costs us goals, etc. People get on his back. If you're a forward, you don't score 1 game, cool. If you don't score 2 games, cool. I don't know how many games he hasn't scored, or his goals are so far apart. Yeah.
think Brighton was it? Maybe
Yeah,
the last
I
one?
think it was Brighton.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, when do we get on forwards back? You know, saying, "Oh yeah, but his work rate's good." What if he goes a whole season goalless? Like, I think it's embarrassing for any team if your highest goal scorer isn't actually one of your forwards. So
That's right. And I think his general hold up play isn't as good as it was last season.
yeah,
He's not really seemed to be linking when we tried him and Ings, that didn't work. When now we got Coutinho in there, I don't see them linking. Not like Coutinho and Ramsey have been linking, for instance, or Buendia. He seems, frustrated. Even when Ramsey scored those great goals against Leeds, he seemed to be not really celebrating with the rest of the team. I don't know if that I'm just reading too much into that, but he does seem like a player that could do with just a game or two on the bench. I mean, we do have a good squad now. We're not newly promoted. We've put a lot of money into this team, and he shouldn't be, he shouldn't think that spot's his, like he's got to earn
exactly.
I agree.
Everyone's disposable at the end of the day, and it is a business, and you've got to score goals. Otherwise, if he's not scoring goals, his value is also going down quite fast. People don't buy strikers based off work rate, unfortunately.
No, that's it.
And I don't know if I'm the only one, but I think everyone's hands would probably go up if we said we'd definitely love to see Archer be given a run up front if we could recall him back from his loan.
He's the most informed striker.
Oh my god! But we all knew it. We all knew it. That's the thing. We all knew it. How doesn't anyone else see it? Fans see it.
It's crazy.
It's unreal. So
under CVG, Archer never got a look in. Don't think he came off the bench once under CVG.
At least with Dino, I think he was prepared to come off the bench for one game.
And he came on one.
Oh, then he scored in the Chelsea FA Cup game.
Yeah, the Carabao Cup.
Whatever it is. And that was almost a full strength team, so he could score against good opposition. That should have been
scored a hat trick against Barrow as well.
Exactly, should have been his stepping stone. But that's football. But I think we should be breeding good homegrown players like Archer, and we see with the likes of Ramsey and obviously Jack or Joe Grealish, as a lot of us refer. Who's Jack? I think I think we think to breed some good talent, and I think we all can see Archer's maybe that next mold, and Chucky's there, but I'd probably put Archer ahead of Chukwuemeka. Actually, they're probably on par, to be honest. They play different, they do different things. But
I think we could see Chukwuemeka starting against Watford. Well, going back to what you said about Archer, I think if we had Ings and Watkins scoring, playing well, then I'd probably understand loaning him out, getting him some game time, sending him to the championship where he'll get chances, but it's also a high quality league, as we know, we've been in it. But the fact that they both haven't really had a great season, that, I think that he should have stuck around and really pushed those two. But we heard Steven Gerrard. Well, the rumors are that Steven Gerrard's looking at dropping 4 players for Watford, and those 4 players,
nonsense.
Ollie Watkins, who we've spoken about, Matty Cash.
Cash? Why Cash?
Well, I don't think he was very happy with his final ball, and I think
it was pretty trash in the final.
It was terrible.
But there's statements to make. I think that's a bit excessive, especially Cash. Hasn't he played the most games for the club?
He hasn't not played this year.
Yep. And he's been good defensively. I think he did quite well defensively on St. Maximin, but going forward, he was absolutely
He was.
That is terrible.
Do you think there's maybe off-field antics or something else leading up to this? Could it be?
Nah, I think it's just trying to prove a point. I think Dean Smith did it against West Ham.
I'm kind of for it because the likes of Sanson, I'm like, this guy's been doing well. And then, like someone out, Louise back from injury, you slot back in. Sanson's better than Louise. I'll call it now.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if Matty Cash doesn't start on the weekend, it's going to be Ashley Young at right back.
That's trash, yeah.
So
trash Leon.
Is he a good enough backup to
Young? I think he did well start of the season, but he got exposed pretty quick. So where's Kessler Hayden?
He's on loan at MK Dons.
I feel like all these young guns that we need, they're the one out on loan.
Yeah, I think we have a fullback on loan, Gilbert.
That's what I said.
Like,
What's
seriously.
happened? Do you see his posts on? Like, this guy's all for Villa. I'm like, the club's done nothing wrong but screw you over and send you out.
And he
loan.
loves him.
And
Yeah, he loves the club.
consistently be a prem player. I thought Gilbert and Sanson would be besties, and like
Yeah.
start together.
You don't think they got Digne as well? Like, come on.
Gilbert's a gun.
Yeah.
He was good defensively, could whip a good ball in. Sometimes I'm like, why did we even sign Cash? Gilbert's like mid-20s.
Yeah, I mean, it is a strange one. Like Dean Smith and him, obviously, it broke down. I
But
remember
he's still
there was
posting positive stuff. Like,
I
I'm like,
know.
what a guy. This is a player we wanted. It's like Hutton almost. He got banished and then could be a similar like Alan Hutton story.
I hope so.
It could be
I love Cash.
the
I
big
love
redemption
Cash.
story.
Well, exactly. But it's like, I love Cash, but he made a League One Team of the Year as right back for Strasbourg.
Yep. So Ollie for Ings, we're guessing. Cash for Young. The other one was McGinn. Which,
Sanson all day.
Sanson.
Yeah.
And then who else was going to be dropped?
Louise.
And then
Louise for
Chucky and
Chucky.
Sanson.
has
know what I mean? You know what I like about the kids? They've got X factor. I mean, it sounds silly, but like there's not as much film to find on these youngsters. And I think when the FA Cup game, it was him, Chucky. Like these guys came out with a point to prove, and they didn't do it for 10 minutes and they died off. They were consistent throughout the 90.
Yeah.
And I think even extra time. You like to say we lost to Chelsea and they brought on Kalku and like 200 million in plays off the bench, and we lost to that. And we're fielding kids that are just hungry. And to be honest, Philogene Bidates, I think he got man of the match last week or the week before
for Stoke. Yeah.
I said these guys are coming off the bench and they're actually still consistently performing for Villa.
No,
They are. But
exactly.
I was saying to Noah before we started recording that if I had said to you a year or 2 years ago that John McGinn would be getting dropped, that's quite a statement if Steven Gerrard does that, because he is the vice captain. He's probably in many people's eyes our best player, or he certainly was like 6 months ago when Jack left and we didn't have Coutinho, this sort of, so that would be a huge shock. But like
he's
you
also
guys
been played out of position, Scott, which probably isn't fair to McGinn. He's not a DM. He's not that tough guy. He's just got a big engine, and they think, yep, you can fill that spot. But I'm like, that's not.
Doesn't work.
No, you know what I mean. It's like trying to put a big wheel on a car that only fits 17 inches.
Exactly.
And a lot of people have been discussing the fact with this system of Gerrard's, he finds himself at right back quite a lot, and with him and Ramsey. They when we win the ball and Cash and Dingo get forward, they go out wide to stop the transition. And it doesn't seem to be working at the moment, but I mean,
it did work though.
Yes, that's the thing. It did work. And Steven Gerrard has done that throughout his whole managerial career at Rangers.
They just cover until they get back. That's the thing. They just cover.
I think it works, generally speaking. It's just the fact that our fullbacks, well, especially Cash, doesn't, gives the ball away. And, when you give the ball away when you've gone forward, that, just invites pressure. And Douglas Luiz, when he gets isolated in the middle, he doesn't have that presence to. I mean, it's going to be a tough one on Chucky. If Chukwuemeka goes into that DM position against Watford.
I think Sanson will have it though. Sanson's more of a ball-winning playmaker. In my
I think he's also more established as a player, and Chucky's just raw and unrefined.
Yeah. Well, that would be cool to see.
Chucky deserves it, in my opinion. Chucky honestly deserves it.
Yeah.
I think he started one game against Brentford. I thought he did really well in that game. It was very second game of the season or something. But he did really well. Probably deserves another crack. I don't see why not.
All right, so let's see if we can squeeze out a couple of positives from the game. I mean, there isn't many, but the one thing I got to say is Mings, after that terrible match against Leeds,
bounce back. He was my 3 votes easy.
Yes, he was the best player on the pitch for us, no doubt. And without him, we would have lost that game 3 or 4-0, maybe.
Yeah,
because he, I mean, Newcastle didn't have a lot of chances, but we just had no spirit at all. And
we had nothing about us.
Yeah, he was at least showing something and, trying to get the team going. And, I think in the dark days, we would have got absolutely battered in that game.
100%.
So, it was awful. but that's probably the only positive I could take from it. Maybe Leon Bailey looked kind of bright when he came on.
He looked okay.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any other positives. The only things I could say is Douglas Luiz can't take set pieces. No, not even a positive. But like honestly, like there's nothing I can take from that game besides get better players on dead balls.
And there was that one that really summed up the game where Mings and Emmy went for the same ball, and like,
oh my god, oh my god!
It just at that point, I was just like, we're not winning this game.
No.
So, yeah, the controversial decision was, of course, Ollie Watkins's goal. I know a lot of people are furious about it, but
didn't it come off the defender, which is irrelevant?
Well, there was a foul before it that I think was probably the biggest sort of gripe that we could have. That it should have never got to that position. But no, sorry, I'm thinking of the Newcastle goal. There was a foul before the Newcastle goal. The Ollie Watkins goal. I mean, yeah, it's an inch offside, but
it's not clear and obvious. It's not clear and obvious, which is what pisses me off even more.
Yeah,
I think the refs have to watch it in.
I reckon they got a minute top.
But I think
I can't do it. Just go with your gut.
I think they've got to watch the decision in real time. And if they cannot tell, they go to the ref's call.
You got to back the refs because you're almost taking authority away. Again, I'm like, the ref has the authority. The ref can go against VAR.
Look at cricket.
Hey,
cricket.
I'm going to live with this choice. Yeah. You know, I'm like. This is more legitimate than that, that fucking goal against Sheffield that actually kept us in the Prem. Sometimes it's just blatant calls that they've missed. Like, and even VAR doesn't pick, so it's not always right. And, again, I think the ref's got authority to say, hey, I'm just going to consult 2 quick checks. Okay, that looks roughly enough. But I said, you can't spend all day with your,
you can't.
Excel spreadsheet looking at it. So.
No.
And no Newcastle player appealed for offside. No one really appealed for, nothing.
They just if the opposition team accepts it, it's pretty that's blatant and obvious.
But I think maybe even bring in team reviews like basketball. I think you said the other week, Tom.
Like a challenge.
A team challenge or something.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
The refs aren't right.
They would challenge that. It'd be like a cricket situation. It'd be like, well, we've got to use the.
But then I'm saying they've got to go. The VAR ref has to watch it in real time. Time. If it's that clear as offside.
I've heard a rumor that they're trialing. I think in some under 21 tournament, robots to do it. So
I've said this. I said refs will become obsolete.
Doing the lines, you know how they click where his ankle was, Ollie's ankle, and then they click where the other guy's, furthest body part from the back is. They click that, and then they do the lines. Well, apparently they're going they're going to do this with robots. I don't really know how the technology works.
I think it could be some sort of technology. I think it'll be like integrated into the boot at some point, because it'll be like, well, my boot, you can sense that this boot was a bit further. So I think it'll be something. I think there'll be technology brought into it like that. This is way down the track.
But that's just getting rid of. It's not football.
And that gets rid of exactly the authenticity. I said, mate, the refs are allowed to make mistakes, and I said the problem is, you bring in all these tech, and if the ref still makes a mistake, well, we're going to have to get a sniper and kill the ref, because they're not allowed to make mistakes anymore.
But what's the worst thing is the goal being disallowed was celebrated more than the actual goal.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's not football.
I said this. We can't rewrite history. So I said that's the problem. We've brought it in now. So what about? I think there was like Lampard's goal years ago that crossed the line for England
in the World Cup,
against Germany, whatever. It never got paid, and. Like these are things you can't rewrite those. So why are we bringing it in now? Like this is the way moving forward. Okay, well then call it a different game. Don't call it football or soccer, because that's as the game was. The rules were the rules. You can tweak them a bit, but it's almost abolishing the old rules.
But we've all had terrible decisions before the VAR that we.
But you just accept it.
We say
do we? I mean, like, what about like Vidic not getting sent off in the League Cup final?
Yeah, but come on, that's Man United.
Okay, so are we going to go and strip these
people still talk about that?
Are they going to go back, into the 1991 season, review every game and actually strip the team that won the title because by right you actually should have finished third if VAR was around then?
I agree with you. I don't think VAR's improved the game.
VAR, they say it favours the bigger teams. Okay, so does that mean Leeds should have, been a powerhouse now because, technically would have favoured them or even us in the 80s? It's the problem.
It's the problem, but I think they need to either scrap the clear and obvious thing or make the refs watch every foul and every decision in real time.
I saw that there's going to be an overhaul of the refs or something. They're really going to be under the scope, and I think it's needed. I think fresh blood is needed. I think young refs are needed because young refs, I think they're more driven, and I think they'll be analysing things a lot more than these old fat pieces of shit. Really, to be honest, Phil Dowd, I'm not calling you out, but also I said, and this is actually coming off Razor Ray. It was the AFL ref.
Yes.
He put it really well. He goes, the refs, he goes, we look at the game through a different lens because we have a decision-making process and we are checking off boxes. Okay, this happened. Why didn't this happen? And it's a yes or no. There's two outcomes. So we've got to give the refs credit sometimes because they're not looking at it like fans. They've got decisions they've got to make. Okay, was it play on? Should I have brought it back? Because then, like Newcastle, we didn't give the first foul, and the second one's actually now leading to a goal-scoring opportunity, and Newcastle scored. So they think, shit, maybe I should have brought it back on the previous one. So they've got this like tactical analysis they're doing in their head in real time. It's like this like algorithm basically. So I said we got to, it's a different process in their mind. So I think sometimes we've got to cut the refs slack, but
yeah, I think they do a good job.
They do a good job.
But,
we cut them slack when they're giving us the right calls.
But I'm more. It's more annoying with the VAR ref. Obviously, the ref on field, that's fair enough. Like they're sometimes 20 meters away from what's going on. But VAR is in to stop clear and obvious mistakes from the referee.
Exactly. So, and it's usually a ref they've got in there. And I don't like that. I don't like that you've got a ref thinking, okay, so now I'm in the what's that bald prick's name? Mike Dean. Say he's in the VAR box, yeah? And he's making the decision and he's not sure. What's he going to be thinking of next time when he's the ref, knowing exactly what's happening upstairs?
There needs to be a panel. There can't be referees.
But that's what I'm saying. It needs to be an external body. You need to have people consistently in the VAR box. It's almost like the fourth official. No, fourth official should be separate and not refs.
Yeah.
But, but everyone's biased in their own way. Like, I mean, what are they going to do? Get like an ex-player in there or something? Like they're going to then what about if they give a penalty for the for the team? It's
I think they need to change. VAR, they need to scrap
it
the
needs
clear
to
and
change,
obvious.
but I accept it because I know it's here to stay. Like it's not.
It's here
anywhere.
to stay.
It's not
but the thing
anywhere.
is, if Villa draw the game, let's say that goal stands, we draw the game. Newcastle fans, we stole a point. Villa played shit. We didn't deserve to get anything from that game.
No,
if we got something from the game, lucky, very, very lucky we got something from that game. At the end of the day, like VAR is VAR. I think the same with cricket. It took a while before they actually got it right. The DRS system. Give it another couple of years. Yes, it's gonna be a long couple of years. Get it right. They made the umpires call. That will end up coming into VAR in the Premier League. It will. It will take a couple of years.
That could be cool.
There's no standing by the ref
as well. They should be mic'd as well, so we can hear the whole, process.
Chats.
I mean, the people in the stadium as well don't even get the
idea.
same. Yeah, they don't get the same pictures we do.
All it says on the screen is VAR foul decision pending, and they're sitting there taking full. It takes 3 minutes. It takes 3 minutes.
It's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
But it's ridiculous. It takes 3 minutes. They're sitting there going, like, what the fuck's going on? They've got no idea what's going on. Oh, goal not given.
Yeah, they don't
by
even
this fucking much.
Yeah, they don't even know like how close it is or what they're looking at, or But in the cricket, like you said, when there's an LBW,
it's all on the big screen.
You hear it, you see it, you understand the thought process. So
and you ride the emotions with the players. You ride emotions, especially with the cricket.
Everyone's in it together. Whatever the ref decides, we go with it. But I do genuinely hate that there's pressure on the refs, and it's from VAR. It's like these fucking nerds that actually aren't refs. Like there's no authority in that room. They're just these analysts or whatever they are. And basically, the ref ultimately is losing power. At some point,
100%.
They'll probably get rid of the ref's whistle at some point. Why do you even need a whistle? We'll just, there'll be an alarm coming from the VAR system or something. I don't know. It's I think it's starting to kill the game. I think it's just getting a bit much. I think it needs to be a quick review. Like, score of a quick review. It's like the tennis man. You do it, ball quickly comes, that's it. You don't watch it 3 times. You watch it once, that's it. And the chair umpire can still rule against, even though it's, clear on the screen what's happened.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on from VAR because we could bash it all day, and we
will.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of opportunities.
Except for if that goal gets given for Villa, then we won't talk about it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but it was a bit. I did feel a bit bad for Ollie because he's desperate for a goal. But he didn't have a good game, and now he's probably on the chopping board. So let's get into that, boys, and let's do some predictions for Watford on Saturday. I mean, this is a massive game. I'm thinking it's going to be a tough game because Roy Hodgson doesn't make his teams, easy to beat. I did watch them against West Ham away, and
Roy's a good coach. He's so underrated.
Yeah, they weren't good, but West Ham didn't find it easy either. So, it's a big game now. We really can't do anything but win this game. Really, Gerard's honeymoon is over. I think it's 5 wins, 5 draws. No, 5 wins, 5 losses, and
2 draws.
2 draws. Yeah. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment, and we really need the points. So, Tommy, I'll go to you first.
I'll piss off. I'm texting my missus. No,
I'll go first.
Sorry, I'm late, by the way, boys. And this will be announced on the podcast. But I had.
It's all right. We've all been very busy this week. That's why Troy's not here, and we're a bit late.
This will be out to the podcast. Before I said had the chat with the in-laws tonight. So
how'd that go?
Mate, they said we knew from the day you walked back in. So
hey, love that.
Excellent.
More excited that we're having pizza tomorrow more than anything else. But it's still a while down the track. I just thought I'd get it all out there in the open.
Excellent.
Anyway,
that's good.
Just a quick one before we go into the chat. I mean, since speaking of honeymoons and romantic things,
yes.
Not about the missus actually. It's about Noah and my first official catch up last night, and I'm sure Scott, you'll
put a photo.
You had a date, and it was how did it go?
We said let's go to the Doncaster Hotel. I actually had a work call. I was a busy guy. I picked it up because Noah was a tight ass. So you can't buy that. I said I'm actually so cheap that I haven't even showered. I'm still wearing
the same top.
No, it was a great night. I said, and it was funny when I posted that. I kind of lost a bit of a mental bet to Noah. He said, "Watch a man comment, mad invite." I had about 3 people comment mad invite. I didn't realize how many Villa fans I actually know in Melbourne. Someone's thinking, "What's this going on?" So now
we've been friends for like 5 years on Facebook. And then,
and even Scott, Scott, I've known you what am I, 29? Geez, I'm old this year. I've known you since I was a teen. You're one of the first people I met in the Villa chat. I remember when, you made me. I think you guys made me co-admin, and honestly, I'm probably the worst admin there. And I remember Tony. Tony cracked the shit. He's like, I should have been made admin, and then I'm like Scott,
And he's never even.
And the thing
anymore.
is, apart from this chat, Scott, I think I've spoken to you one other time we did the fantasy, but I've basically probably seen me grow up digitally and virtually, and same thing as Noah. We're so close, and sometimes geez, you don't realize these guys, we're going to be here I hope these podcasts go for 30, 40 years and, dates back so far. Where did you have fun? Well, Scott might be dead. Sorry.
It might be hard to load that one onto YouTube if it's a 40-year long video.
Scott, can you send the Zoom link? This is Kathy. Scott didn't make it.
I think
I'd personally be putting the Coupe de Villa thing on your plot, just so you know. So
that's it.
Of course.
Anyway, that's 40 years down the track. Let's not be more.
Exactly.
Hopefully we can win a trophy between now and then.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be good.
I just think everyone says Villa fan, fuck, why Villa? They're like, mate, I'm like, man, I just love roller coaster rides. This is the club.
Exactly.
And what a journey it's been. Unreal.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're in a good spot. I know we're complaining about the game.
Mate, but the growth is still that upward trajectory. It's not, catchy. I think staying up was more like we plateaued a year and then we started to go up. I think ever since the second season staying, was that the second one where we beat Liverpool 7-2?
Second season. That's second season.
7-2. That's when I knew, okay, we're onto something here. Yeah. Yes, we'll rely on Jack, but there was a lot more guy, Emmy just pulling saves out of his ass. Conta being a weapon and scoring 3-4 goals that season off corners or set plays. Just the whole team was starting to come together. And as fans, it's still funny that a lot of us say McGinn's played out of position and we need an out now. We need another centre back to challenge Mings and Horse.
I know it's crazy to think where we've come from, definitely. And
it's crazy.
Look, we've got a big game on the weekend. I think if we can win that, we've still got some winnable games coming up. We can still get something positive out of this season. So let's go into predictions. Tommy?
Season predictions?
Yeah, for Watford.
For Watford.
Oh, yeah, no text. Watford predictions? I don't know. I reckon we'll bounce back. I'll go 3-1. I think it'll be payback for the opening gaming season.
And what changes do you expect? Not what you would do. because
Yeah,
you bring in Gilbert,
no,
Archer, you know.
100%. Bring back Gabby out of retirement, John
Yeah.
Carew. No,
What do you
so
think
it'd be-
Stevie G will do?
Well, I'll give it just based on what we're seeing. So it'd be Ings for Watkins, Chuck Womaker and Sanson for McGinn and Louise. And I think Chucky and Sanson are actually a better duo. I'm not going to lie. Call me hate on me, whatever. I think they'll do a lot more. And Ashley Young for Matty Cash. And I think that's the worrying part. Ashley Young, a right back. We know that his best is past him, but
He does have a good delivery.
he did very well against Watford when he came on. We got dragged
Yeah, he did.
for target, and then I feel like he actually took Ismail Lassar out the game. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I think Watford have been quite poor. They had a little good patch of 2 games or 1.5 games, and then back to being Watford.
Yeah, I'm confident we'll beat them. I'm going to say 2-0.
I think 3-1. I just think we've been a bit leaky at the back recently, and most of our home sheets do come from home. That's the only reason.
Possibly. They do have a few dangerous players like Dennis and Saar. And
I think Sar's still out.
is he? Yeah,
I think
because
so.
he went to the African.
No, he didn't go because he got injured.
I'm pretty sure he went in the end. I
Did
think
he?
he.
I'm gonna have a look.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to go, and then they somehow called him up late because I do have a memory of him actually playing in one of those games, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm confident 2-0. I think Ollie will get dropped.
Yeah, he's back on the bench. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Ollie will get dropped. I think. I mean, I would like to see the changes you're suggesting and that have been suggested on social media, but I don't know. I don't know if
Ollie's
Cash will get
calling to
dropped.
be dropped.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think Cash will get dropped.
I don't think Cash will get
I
dropped.
don't I don't want it to get dropped, but that's just based on what you guys were telling me. So why'd you throw me under the bus, you pricks?
Well, look. It's
That's
all,
what
it's
social
all
media is saying.
speculation. That's why
And
we're
where's
here.
Troy, by the way? I mean, like, I love the podcast. Where's Troy?
Troy is on his way back from the Gold Coast. He was going to try and make it, but unfortunately didn't make it in time. So we're not doing the quiz this week. We'll have to put that back to after the Watford game. But I'm disappointed because I've got it already here. And it's
mate, hey, you've saved yourself the weekend, mate. You've earned yourself a free week.
Well,
Exactly.
These questions aren't getting easier, Scott. You're going to have to start incorporating some NBA or some. I think some cricket. I think do general knowledge. Do like 50 Villa, 50 random shit. Because then we got a chance of winning. Fuck you, Noah. You always
Look, we'll have to look at something because I might run out of questions. But we're
doing that for the soccer team. I also feel my brother's club, Hume City. We ran out of like historic questions, so we started to mix it up, and that was probably the only way to save the quiz.
The quiz doesn't need saving, mate. The quiz is still up and about.
Oh, piss off you and your 16 points.
All right, so Noah, your predictions.
I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, to Villa, obviously.
Martinez. Half time again.
Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne, Sanson, Buendia will play where he normally does. So Chucky and JJ, and then Coutinho, Buendia, Ings.
That sounds like that could be about right. And we're going to have to look forward to see how it shakes out because it will be an interesting time when the team gets announced an hour before kickoff. I am sure there'll be a few people.
It's a meltdown every week.
Oh, yeah. It's always a meltdown. But I'm expecting a big meltdown this week. There could be a few surprises and some people are going to be not happy. One person that's not happy we haven't talked about is Matty Target. He's interviewed Noah for Newcastle.
Talk Sport. It was a bit surprising. What
did he say?
He kind of literally said that as soon as Villa signed a caliber of Digne's quality, that he didn't want to sit on the bench at 26.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty piss weak. I think, challenge someone for your spot.
That's what I thought, but Scott thought it was kind of, he didn't think it was in Gerard's plans.
I see both sides, but I agree that he could have stuck around and, fought it out. But I think he realizes that he's not the type of fullback that Gerard wants or needs. And
well, to be honest, Scott, I think he had 3/4 of a good season, and I think we based him off that. I remember for Southampton, he was never that good of a fullback, and that's because he was priced at $4 million on fantasy, and you're not good if you're priced at $4 million on fantasy, unless you Livramento. That's different. So I think he escaped. I think he had one good season. We based off that, where I think he got exposed a lot of time. His lack of pace, and he's a one-dimensional fullback. Digne's a wing back, and I think Digne's scoring opportunities, I think in however many games he's played, have probably been more than Target's all of last season. And Target actually scored. So
Target scored this season.
Digne's just a different, gravy. And you look at the difference. Target's like, well, once they signed him, I've got to leave. And Digne's like, man, this club, these fans, like this is, perfect situation. So I think just what we got in Digne, it's someone who wants to be here, and almost with Target, I think once you knew that, he's like, he didn't want to be here. And fair enough. I mean, we paid good money for him. If we can snap Newcastle's arm for 20 million or at least get our money back, I think that's a win.
I think it is a win, and I think we should probably wrap up there, and we'll hope that we get a win.
Can I say one thing, Scotty?
Go for it.
Love you too.
Thanks to Mrs. Cooper for the sign, by the way.
Look.
So
yeah,
really appreciate that. So thank you.
And mine, my hard piece of wood is actually a bit floppy on the end. So, and also the sign's broken as well. No, it's not broken. I thought it was like that. I thought it was to fit in. That's why. And then you guys like, no, ours is just straight. I'm like, well, mine, it's gone a bit like that. But
show us. Get it.
It looks fine like it is.
Kathy, actually, I don't want to put Kathy.
But they look great.
It's on the coop. No, I honestly love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm planning when I do move out at some point this year. This is going straight in my study. But ahead of me, I'm going to put it ahead of my my bachelor's degree, because that means fuck all. But Kathy, we love it. And I think it's a good thing. How many shows we've done now? What's this? Our 20-something?
30th. It's over 30.
31st, I think. Yeah,
thanks for all the support. 130 odd subscribers now too. So thanks everyone for jumping in.
Thanks, Coxie. Thanks, Coxie.
Coxie, now I've got to say that he didn't comment on the last video, Coxie. That was a bit flat.
Oh, don't say that. Now you're gonna get a paragraph from him now. Jesus. No, we love Coxie because now obviously we know what the affiliation we know is. I think it's good to get sometimes people like that on.
That's it.
I don't know. I reckon there's a few Villa fans that'd be dying to line up for a gig.
You never know.
Except the man, you're the emergency sub. Sorry, man.
Well,
you're not a regular, but you're not a special guest.
Look, Aman is a great backup.
He's a great backup. He's good.
He will be back on again.
If any club needs analytics, get Aman. Aman's your guy. This guy
very good.
This guy's better with spreadsheets than Sheridan.
Very good. Very good. All right, well, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again for watching. You can please comment, let us know where you think the team's going wrong. What changes would you like to see for Watford, and predictions on the scoreline. You can also listen to us on Spotify now, so please get on there and give us a follow, and up the Villa, and hopefully we'll be back talking about a win and a good performance.
Hopefully.
All right, lads. See you later.
See you later.
See you guys.